Hello everybody and welcome back to Manifest with Finesse on YouTube. My name is Manifesting Gaia. That is my Twitter, TikTok, and podcast. All links are down below. And my affirmations list emails down below. And today we're going to be talking about affirming and persisting versus states. The whole reason why this is even a thing is because of Law of Assumption Twitter. Don't recommend joining right now if you were thinking about it. Maybe wait till like late summer. And if you are on it and it's really getting stressful to see it every day, I would recommend taking a break, taking time off, deactivate your account, block, mute people if you need to, stop entertaining things that don't bring you joy, peace, comfort. So everybody knows what affirming and persisting is. I really think it should just be affirming versus states, because you're persisting with affirming, you're persisting with states, you're persisting with visualizing, stats, affirmation tapes. Like, you persist if you keep doing something. If you keep going back to a state, you're persisting. If you keep saying affirmations, you're persisting. A lot of people are even confused about what a state is. A state is a state of being, your consciousness, your awareness, what you're aware to, like where you are within yourself, either having your desire or not having it, being rich, being poor. Me, like, I'm in a state of being a manifestation coach on YouTube. If I get out of that state, my reality will not be reflecting a reality that would be reflected if I was a manifestation coach on YouTube. Okay, it sounds confusing, but it's really, really simple. It's just your awareness, your consciousness, your state. Obviously, affirming is just repeating the same thoughts over and over. It doesn't even have to be the same thoughts, but just repeating thoughts over and over to push you into a state of having whatever you're affirming for. So in my personal opinion, states and affirming go hand in hand. They have to. First of all, a lot of things I see on Twitter is people think affirming and persisting means affirming for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. That is not true. You can literally affirm, I'm rich, I'm wealthy, I'm beautiful, the first thing you wake up when you look in the mirror in the bathroom, and then never affirm again. And that was affirming and persisting. You can do it in intervals. Number two I see is people think affirming and persisting all day is people are forcing themselves to, and they don't actually like it. That is true for some people, but for the people who understand how to affirm and what it means, it doesn't feel like that. If you are affirming all day because you feel like you have to, you feel like if you don't, you won't get your desire. You feel like when you're not affirming, you're not going to get your desire. You feel like you have to keep up. And most of all, you're doing it to change the 3D. Like, if you want SB to text you, you're saying, he texted me, she texted me, they texted me, they texted me, they texted me, just to see a text on your phone. That is going to tire you out, and it's not going to be enjoyable. And that is not the right way to affirm. I don't know who y'all be watching, but I keep telling y'all, if you are affirming, oh my God, SP is texting me, SP is texting me, you are doing it to feel that real. You are doing it to change your state. You're doing it because you want to feel like the person who has a text from SP. If you are affirming, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich, you better be doing it so that you can feel rich. Like, I feel rich in this jacket with these sunglasses. I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich. Like, me saying that, it's not going to tire me out, because I'm not doing it to change my 3D. I'm not doing it to wake up in a mansion. I'm doing it because I want to feel it real. A lot of things that confuse people about states is, a lot of people, when they talk about states, they say you got to feel it, like feel it. Feel it, feel it, feel it, feel it. When I say feel it, I don't mean happy or sad. If you do feel it, you're probably going to be happy. But when I say feel it, I mean like knowing it, like feeling it. So let's say your best friend likes a person, they like a guy, like a girl, and things are going really great, and you really want your best friend to be with this person, and your best friend is acting like, oh my God, we're not going to be together. But like, you're like, I feel it deep down. Y'all are gonna be together. I feel it. I know it. Like, y'all gonna be together. You can say no all day, you know, ignoring 3D. You can say no. You can say you're not gonna be together. But I know you are. I feel it, and I want this for you. So that's not really happy, sad, mad, surprised. Like, it's not really emotion. It is feeling, but it's more like knowing. You're in a state of knowing. Here's where the controversy comes in, especially on Twitter, is people who that I see. Again, oh, I should have PS stayed this, but like, if you're here to get offended, leave. If you comment some BS, blocked. Like, please. Anyways, what I see is like, I see a lot of people who practice states, they get asked like, what if I can't just know? Because you're not going to be able to just know everything, because you might have years of limiting beliefs and bad experiences with the subject. So if I have the story that I am so broke, I cannot literally afford to keep my lights on at the end of the day, I'm not going to be able to just want money and jump to a state where I know I have it. I feel like I said with the best friend example, I'm not going to be that happy about money when I can't keep my lights on. So a lot of times I see people who say states, they're like, I just know. Well, I just know my 3D is a reflection of my 4D. So if I'm in the state that I have the money, then it'll come. And that is not simple for a lot of people. This is where I say affirming or whatever technique you're doing goes hand in hand with states. If you cannot just know, that is why we affirm. That is why we visualize. That is why we script. That is why we do sats. We do it to move us into the states. And I'm actually glad that feelings are getting talked about more, because I've always believed, like, if you're able to know that it's gonna, like, I'm not saying you need to know that you're gonna get something, you absolutely don't, but I do believe that conviction, that's the word I want to use. I don't want to say knowing or feelings, I want to say conviction. I want to say when you're convinced, it does help a ton. But like I said, you're not going to be able to jump there with all these stories, which is why affirming is necessary. Here's my prerogative. You're in a state 24/7 and you are affirming all day. You are always affirming. You have 60 to 80,000 thoughts today. And if of the thoughts you have today, 90% of them were the thoughts you had yesterday, you're going to be repeating the same thoughts. You're going to be affirming. My thing with I see on Twitter is, here's the thing with people from states. A lot of them moved to states, like they used to be affirmers, and then they moved to states and then realized they didn't really have to as much as they thought they did. And when they did affirm, they weren't understanding why. They were the people that were doing it to change the 3D. And then they were like, it ruined my mental health. It made me more sad. I would affirm for months and nothing would happen. That is not because affirming didn't work. I want to make that 1,000,000% clear. It is not because affirming does not work. It's because you didn't understand why you were doing it. Because you didn't understand states. Now, if you can understand both states and affirming and went back to affirming, you would be good at it. You would be amazing. I bet $100 million you would be so amazing at affirming and you would get your things instantly. A lot of things I see with states again, I'm talking a lot about Twitter because, again, this is where it came from. If you're not on there and you might be confused, I'm sorry, but I also want to clear up limiting beliefs. So a lot of things I see is like people who practice states are trying to say science isn't logical, science isn't real, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know how we have all the studies on how repetition works, saturation works, reticular activating system, neuroplasticity, epigenetics. Like, these are like literally sciences and studies on how affirming works and that it does work. And then they try to say it doesn't. See, that's where I gotta cut it because it doesn't even make no sense. I'm not like, we're not about to start doing that. I'm saying on here, y'all know me, like, I actually got a comment the other day on my repetition video. It was like, thank you so much for actually explaining why it works. Because whenever I ask people about LOA, they just say like, oh, it's the law. It just has to work, like 3D, 4D, but they don't actually explain it. You cannot want people to know how to manifest and then not give them explanations when they need it. A lot of things people with states that I see don't understand is people have so many limiting beliefs. They're acting logically. They're not going to be able to just jump to states of being, and you cannot start saying science isn't real, science isn't logical. I didn't remember the tweet that I saw, but it was like, science is just assumptions. I was like, we're not doing that. Like, we're not doing that. You could say that if people were just saying opinions, but when you actually hook up people's brains to scans and then have them run a fake race in their imagination, they persist on it, and then have them run the race in real life, and their times match up with the ones that were in their imagination, we're not going to sit here and say that's not real, because it is. Yeah, so back to people thinking in like states that you don't affirm. You do affirm. You affirm every day. If 90% of the thoughts from yesterday are the ones you're having today, you're going to be repeating the same thoughts. You do affirm. Even when you're trying to get yourself back into a state and you're like, in your head, oh my God, I got out of this state. I got to get back in. I'm not worrying about this. It's already done. That's affirming. That is affirming. That is affirming. I don't care how bad you don't want to admit it's affirming. That is 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 affirming. There's no like debate about it. Again, you have to understand both. I just feel like people don't understand both. That's why it became like affirming or states. It's the same thing. It's not the exact same thing. Like, there's a difference between states and affirming, which I've explained, but like they go hand in hand. You cannot do one without the other. Like, I don't care which one you dominantly practice. I don't care if you want to affirm all day or never affirm, but keep persisting yourself back into the state. You're in a state when you affirm, and you're going to be saying affirmations all day, even if you don't sit down and consciously say them. I just don't like people being confused. I don't like all the debacle. Like, I don't like that. I mean, people, fight who you want to fight. Like, go on there and complain and say, I'm superior because I don't affirm, or affirming better. I don't know, over here, I believe repetition works. Oh, and can we talk about affirming from lack for a second? So I made a video like 2 months ago, and I was talking about affirming to get versus affirming to remind yourself. And I keep on seeing that people say affirming from lack or affirming to get isn't a real thing because your subconscious mind believes everything you tell it. So you can't. All right. I should have said this. I didn't think people were going to take it the wrong way in that video. But that was a video about your conscious mind. Your subconscious, yes, it believes everything you tell it. It does not matter what your circumstances are. It doesn't matter if you don't believe your affirmations. If you're telling yourself, I'm rich, or if you're constantly in a state that says, I'm rich, it will manifest. But do you want to know why, even when you affirm so much, sometimes things don't manifest? Because of your limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs come from the conscious mind. That video was about conscious mind. The lack that I was talking about is affirming to try to change the 3D. Affirming and then looking for 3D. Affirming because you want your physical reality to look this way. That is affirming from lack to me. And that is why so many people who are practicing affirming that now practice states didn't like affirming because they were affirming to get. It's not that their subconscious mind didn't take it as fact. It's because you put something in your subconscious mind and then you retract it whenever you waver, whenever you get into a state where you don't have it. So I didn't think people wouldn't be able to pick up what I was putting down, but I believe in affirming from lack. So when I say affirming from lack, this is what I mean. I don't mean SP texting me, oh, well, you affirmed from lack that you don't have it, so it's not going to happen. This is what I mean. SP texted me, 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 SP. Oh my God, it's not working. It's not working. That is what lack is. 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 I don't want to hear it. Like, that is what lack is. You are lacking this thing in your physical reality and you're doing it to try to get. If affirming from lack wasn't real, in my opinion, 10,000 affirmation challenge would have worked for every single person on the planet. And I don't think enough time was spent explaining why you were actually doing the challenge, which I have a video on. I explained it, but I don't think when the challenge came out that was explained enough. And I don't believe that not wavering was talked about enough either. And I'm not like coming at Viper and TD. Like, Viper is my main girl. You already know. Viper, shout out to you if you're watching this. But like, I'm just saying, like, Viper knows that. Like, they knew that information. And that's the thing. Like, I'm saying with my affirming from lack, like, I just, not that I want to assume that everybody would know, but I just assumed everybody would know what I was trying to say. Like, I didn't think there would be some discourse. So I'm not blaming anybody, but I'm also saying, like, sometimes we do have to take into account that people are new, people don't understand. And all in all, please do what you want to do. Don't let the opinions of others sway you. And also, if you're practicing something, you shouldn't have to give in to people that it worked. I'm not convincing anybody to use states or affirming. I did not say one was better than the other. I gave why each one works, and I said limiting beliefs I see with both, but I think both work. And I keep saying both go hand in hand. And the only reason this is an affirming versus state situation is because people don't see that. People are either projecting that it didn't work for me, so it can't work for other people, or this is easier for me, so when other people aren't doing what I'm doing, they're just making it hard. No, some people did states. States isn't a new thing. And they're both Neville Goddard concepts, and Neville practiced both. He said, persist until it hardens into fact. And then he also has so many quotes about getting into the state of being. Like, once you're there, you ain't got to do nothing more. Sabbath state, that was his thing. I have a video on that too. And I have so many videos on affirming and persisting. Like, so he used both because both work. But regardless, my number one thing is you should know, you should trust that whatever you're doing is working. That is where self-concept comes in. It does not matter if I affirm 20,000 times a day, if I never affirm all day, if I get into states, if I just don't even think about anything, if I'm not conscious about my states or my affirmations or what I'm saying, what I want is already happening. What I want has already happened. What I want has already happened. What I want has already happened. What you want has already happened. Don't think too much about it. This is just a video, my opinions and things I see that I just want to address. All right, I did forget to add something. I know I'm zoomed up and I'm in my closet because the lighting's really good in here. But something I forgot to add that I saw that was limiting. I basically asked if states people used affirmation tapes or subliminals like during the day or like when they sleep at night. Because I was trying to, like, you know, make a correlation. And like literally 95% of people said like they do states and then they'll do subliminals during the day or maybe affirmation tapes at night. Like 2 people were like, I don't, because if I'm already in a state of having my desire, then I wouldn't be listening to affirmations or subliminals. It's limiting to do that. This is especially for people who believe that and don't know any better. But this is giving me flashbacks of like a year ago when people were saying you shouldn't affirm every day or all the time because you wouldn't be affirming it if you had what you wanted. By a show of hands, how many of us have been broke or haven't had money and have been telling ourselves we're poor, telling our friends we're poor, saying no to plans because they don't have money, wondering how they're going to pay this bill even though the bill isn't due for 3 more months, you will repeat your situation. You're always affirming your situation to yourself, especially if you're feeling super happy about it or super sad about it. If you're super sad about being broke, you're going to repeat it all day. If you just got broken up with and you're super sad, you're going to repeat it all day. You're going to tell your friends, you're going to tell your parents, you're going to tell your siblings, you're going to look how to get your ex back, you're going to look up SP videos. So it doesn't make sense to say, if I had it, I wouldn't affirm. Yes, you would be doing it. Number 2, your subconscious mind doesn't know that you're repeating to get, or you're repeating, that means you don't have it. No, if you're repeating it, that means you have it. If you're listening to affirmation tapes, it's going straight to your subconscious mind. That is a conscious limiting belief. Please do not listen to people that say that. Like, I don't get what a lot of people don't get, that repetition cannot harm you. It could only make your mind better. If you are repeating, that is a good thing. There is no bad that can come from repetition. You can listen to subliminals. You can listen to affirmation tapes. That is a limiting belief that you have. There is no, if I was in the state of having it, I wouldn't be listening to affirmation tapes. I wouldn't be listening to subliminals. Your subconscious mind doesn't have eyes. It cannot see you type in subliminals for money. Just like if you're manifesting, you live in your own house or whatever, you have your own place, your subconscious mind doesn't see you doing chores in your mom's house. So it's not going to be like, you're affirming you have your own house, but I see you and your mom, or you're in the same house that you've been in your whole life. Like, no, you're not. Like, it doesn't see it. It only goes off what you're telling it. So why would you be telling yourself, if I listen to subliminals, it's limiting because I wouldn't, if I had it, that's a limit. Like, you're making limiting beliefs. So there is no limiting beliefs with listening to subliminals or affirmation tapes. Please do. Like, if that's what you want to do. I'm not saying you need to do it to manifest, but I'm saying doing it isn't limiting. Doing it doesn't take you out of a state. If anything, it pushes you more in a state, because affirmations push you in a state. Anyways, now the video is done for real. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, you can have anything you want in this universe. Nothing's too big, small, wide, or expensive. I believe in you. You should believe in you. And I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye.